Back with our panel, Brian Westbury, Greg Valliere, Jerry Bowyer, Mark Scalzi. Jerry Bowyer, you probably heard Greg Valliere, a very keen, analytical, and crafty Washington observer. He says that a day like today with stocks and jobs and unemployment and oil is very bad for John McCain's stock, and we're going to have a big Obama bounce, Jerry. Do you agree with those assertions?
Well, I don't know how much a bigger Obama bounce we can have. He's got McCain by like 20 points in trade. Look, this is not a strong area for John McCain. Even the clip you played earlier in the show where he said, I'm told this is the worst number in 22 years.
Isn't that awful?
Like he didn't know.
Like he doesn't know himself.
Yeah.
Like he doesn't know which numbers are good and which numbers are bad, but someone handed him a sheet of paper that said it's bad.
And he's voting for cap and trade. Did you know that? He said, if I was there, I would vote for it, and so did Obama. So you know it's going to pass next year. Like,
I don't know
this is a whole bad area.
I think Kudlow and Company stopped it out this year. We had Mitch McConnell on here. But Jerry Bowyer, when's McCain going to... He needs a pro-growth mantra, Jerry. He's got corporate tax cuts, but he doesn't talk about them. What is up with this, Jerry Bowyer? I mean, Obama wants to raise taxes on investors, on businesses, on successful earners. When is McCain going to counter that and put some growth and optimism into his economic message?
When he really believes it. And when he really believes all that stuff, when he's not just saying, "Oh, this is what I'm supposed to do to be the Republican candidate," when he basically kicks the high taxers out of his campaign staff, gets lean and mean and focused, starts listening to Jack Kemp, starts listening to Steve Forbes, gets on message, studies it, learns it, believes it, and then talks from the heart.
Brian Westbury, I had a conversation today with one of my favorite House members, Barney Frank, who's a very smart guy, the chairman of the Financial Committee, and I mean that sincerely. But we did disagree because Mr. Frank wants a second stimulus package. We haven't even hardly had the first one. And he wants to raise taxes on upper-end earners to finance it. George Bush's guy, Ed Gillespie, was out today. This is really disconcerting. President Bush is considering new measures to help stimulate the battered economy, the White House said. White House counselor Ed Gillespie said aides to Bush are constantly looking at options for new economic proposals. What's your take? A second stimulus package?
Yeah, I testified in front of Barney Frank's committee about a month ago and said that we shouldn't have his new package. And the economy is now coming out of its slow period. Our forecast is that we're going to have 3.5% growth in the second half of this year. I think the real problem with our economy today is this high oil price. It's driven airlines out of business. It's raised the price and the cost of living for American consumers, and it's killing us. And I believe it's coming from bad Federal Reserve policy. These interest rate cuts, the inflationary policy has driven oil up almost double since last September. And today was just unbelievable because Trichet, the head of the European Central Bank, comes out and says, I'm going to raise rates. Ben Bernanke said that on Tuesday, that he wants a strong and stable dollar. I hope what we have is rate hikes around the world. That'll quell oil prices. That's
Greg Valliere, what's your read from Washington on the Fed story?
Well, real quick point. Oh, the Fed story, they're done. I'm glad that Bernanke's trying to talk the dollar up. I got to make this one point. Yes, McCain needs a strong pro-growth message. He doesn't have it. I talked to Republicans this week who are despondent, who are incredulous that he can't read off a teleprompter.
Yeah.
The speech he made on Tuesday night was shockingly bad.
Well, he's got to be able to take it to Senator Obama. Senator Obama may not be so well known, but when you get to know his policies, they're basically the same old liberal package of big government taxing and regulating. But I'll tell you, I despair a little bit at this point, Jerry Bowyer, because Sarah McCain has a terrific opportunity to define Obama, but he doesn't seem to be taking it, Jerry.
Right.
Yeah, and imagine oil prices in a world where the commander-in-chief of U.S. leans towards appeasement in the Middle East. Imagine the instability under that scenario.
All right, we're going to have to leave it there, gentlemen. Thank you ever so much. Brian Westbury, Greg Valliere, Jerry Bowyer, Mark Scalzi, and up next,